This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and I'm here in Deia and have the pleasure of having been invited to the studio of Arturo Rhodes, who is a resident of Deia. You've been here how many years?
Since 1981, 30 odd years.
30 odd years, wow. And you said originally there was a community of 30 artists.
There were maybe 30 or more.
And now?
When I arrived,
yeah,
there's maybe 7 or 8 left.
Oh.
So it's like the sunset of the artist community, kind of.
Yeah. It's still a creative environment though, isn't it?
It's still a very creative environment. The actual energy thing here is really great for creating. It's still just...
And writing as well.
Anything like that. There's been lots of writers here, musicians, rock musicians, filmmakers, you name it.
Yeah.
There was some famous books. There was this one, The Dice Man, was written here. You know, that very famous Luke Reinhardt book. That was actually written in Deia. And then David Allen was here, Kevin Ayres was here,
Roger
McGough, Brian Patton, all these guys here. Yeah. They were all here.
Now, you say that you
And of course Robert Graves was here.
Oh, well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah. When I first arrived, I would go to his house and I would turn him over because he had really bad bed sores.
Oh.
And so I would help his nurse to turn him over, you know, to lay him on the other side. And then I was at his birthday, I think it was his 90th birthday or something. And I'd been in his house loads of times. Now it's a museum. And Robert's dead, his wife's dead, and it's down the river of time. But he wrote some wonderful love poems. The love poems are what I really like. They're really something else.
Huh.
And The White Goddess, another great one.
So your paintings are downstairs that you're working on, but you said that you attached them here, where you've obviously got light.
I put them up on there.
Yes. And what are you working on right now?
Shall I get it from downstairs?
Well, we'll have to do that in part 2, because I'd have to stop the
oh, okay.
See what I mean? So I want you to show me the media that you're using.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So I use pigments. There you can see pigments. They're like usually an organic origin from the earth. All of the earth colours I use are pigments.
Yes.
And then most of the colours, they're like real ultramarine, real cobalt blue, real cobalt violet, and so on. And I find you get the really great colours if you use the real pigments. The tube colours, especially acrylic tube colours, are made chemically, and they are representations of the colours from the past. And the modern colours, they tend to be a bit too acid or something. There's something really a bit unpleasant about them compared to if you mix them up with the real pigment. It's a bit more expensive way to do it, but you get great, fabulous colours.
And mainly you do surrealist paintings, don't you?
Oh, I guess you could call them magic realism or surrealism or something like that. It's a bit the way my mind works. Plus,
were you inspired by art collections that you saw throughout your travels?
Oh God, but I'm inspired by many different things.
Such as?
Usually what inspires me are things that people say, usually in normal conversation. When people aren't trying to be clever or intellectual, they sometimes just come out with stuff that's not really checked over. And then sometimes I hear real gems.
Can you give me an example?
I met my cleaning lady walking down the street, and she asked me how I was doing. And I said, oh, no, you're not so great. Computer's broken, car's in the garage, cat died, you know, not a good... And she said, oh, you're having a bad hair day, she said. And she was Spanish. So I said, well, where the hell did you get the bad hair day from? I mean, it's not Spanish. Oh, she said, I'm working for an English family and I heard it there, bad hair day. I said, oh, okay. So then I came back home and I put bad hair day into Google and got all this massive information. Bad hair day actually comes from the 60s. It literally meant that when women woke up, all their hair was all out of place. And then as it developed in language, it came to mean various things that go wrong.
I've never heard of that expression.
You never heard of bad hair day?
No.
God, you haven't lived, baby.
I haven't lived, no.
But that bad hair day became a whole series of paintings.
Okay.
So then...
well, we ought to have a look at those.
So when I got home...
Yeah.
What I usually do, very often my inspiration comes from little bits of conversation.
Yeah, you mentioned one about nipples, didn't you?
That came from another conversation, and so then when I got home, bad hair day, I wrote it up big in my studio, and then I was thinking bad hair. And then hair, as in English, the word for the animal. Yeah. Like the rabbit.
Yes, yes.
So I thought, oh, well, maybe the hare could have a bad hair day.
Yes.
And so then I was looking around at pictures of rabbits and hares and things. And in the end, these rabbits were sitting around drinking a lot of booze and stuff, having a bad hair day. Yeah. And that's how I got to that particular... set of pictures.
Yes.
And it went very well. I got a lot of groundwork out of that bad hair day.
Yeah, yeah.
So it works like that.
Okay, well, we're in part 2, let's see some of the bad hair day paintings. Thank you very much.